Hey, everybody. This episode is brought to you by our ebook, Mastering Film Marketing. You can pick up your copy today at themakeitpodcast.com. And now, on to the show.
One little thing you didn't mention, just to make Jesse feel a little more comfortable, to expect some degradation in our images.
He's in a yukata. He looks incredibly comfortable. He's naked under there.
You're right. What are you talking about?
I got the recording.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Make It Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Barkley.
はじめまして。どうぞよろしく。お名前はNickさんです。I'm your host, Nicholas Bugs. It's great to be here.
That was beautiful, and what an homage to our esteemed guest who is sitting in Japan, joining us from Japan near Mount Fuji with beautiful views. Jesse Weglein. Jesse, welcome to the Make It Podcast.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here.
The honor is all ours. And of course, with us on this podcasting journey, per usual, is producer Papa Bear. Producer Papa Bear, say hello.
Hello.
And
Well,
Jesse,
there it
did I
is.
get any of that right? Did I get close? I was like,
Yeah, can we get the translation on the Japanese? Like, how close was he, Jesse?
It sounded very authentic. Yeah.
oh, very good. I'll take it. There you go. That's right. I
No,
can
he
get a
didn't
part of
say
the
you were-
movie. You hear what he said? He didn't say I was right. He just said I sounded authentic.
That's what I was going to say. You didn't sound,
right?
you didn't sound right. He didn't say you were right. He said you sounded authentic. You sounded
take
okay.
I'll take
I'll
it
take
if
it
I
too.
can pass. If I can pass.
I couldn't tell you. You sounded like
I
you
know
said
it.
something to me. It's like you asked for a burrito. Let's get into some story is king, guys. You worked at Pixar for 15 years, and now you've broken out to start your own studio. Can you just tell us what we should know you for, what you've worked on, and what you're working on now?
Thank you. Yeah, so at Pixar, I started in 2008. I was very fortunate to begin right as they were developing it Up. So my first introduction to that massive studio of success was to see the storyboards for Up. And even when it was still in the drawing phase, it was emotional. It had such resonance that I was in tears. My first week, I was watching it in the main theater, and from that moment on, it set the pace. It set the pace for what I was to expect for the rest of that 15 years, tenure. And what an amazing opportunity to learn from such masters. Every day was a learning opportunity. I kept myself open to everything that I could get my hands on as far as training my visual eye for the new way of thinking about how do you structure a scene? What is the importance? What should we be looking at? Within 3 seconds, you should always know what the audience should be taking away. So those are things I try to keep with me as I move into this new venture. About, I guess, 2 years ago, I was part of the large layoff that a lot of us felt. About 250 of us or so, almost 300 really, if you count the contractors. We departed Pixar, and that was a huge moment. That was a seismic shift in all of our lives. A lot of us were long-term, people there, and major producers of content, shapers of the films. And everyone just we had a moment where we didn't know what to do next. The idea: do we switch into games? Do we go into graphic design? What do you do at that point? And I took about a year really to kind of think about what I wanted to do after that. And I was very fortunate. While I was at Pixar for the last year, I pitched a lot of independent research and development ideas, and one of them was for AI. And the studio really wasn't in the space to know what to do with that technology. It was still very new. My department head didn't really even know what she was looking at. I was saying, look, this is commercially available. This is what we can kind of do with it. And the idea was, it's not ready. It's not ready for prime time. Thank you for your research. interesting but not applicable. Um, and
Mm.
but after I had that time, I started to research it on my own. What was possible with the advances that have been made in just 1 year since I last explored it, and I was impressed. I was impressed with the advances that were happening. It was the improvements that we were seeing were happening so quickly.
Speed of improvements too, Jesse.
Yes. Oh yeah. The updates and the the diversity of the technology. Different companies were coming out with new models
Yeah.
very rapidly. Um, and while it was not perfect, it's very far from perfect even now. I saw the potential. I saw the potential for what it could be in the future, and I wanted to get in on that early on. And uh, I'm I'm really, really grateful that the training that I received at Pixar allowed me to be open-minded to say, you know what, we're always approached with new technologies, new softwares at Pixar. You don't learn a software when you're at Pixar. You learn a skill, and then you
Got
apply
it.
that to different tech. Different softwares come and go. If you're in Maya, if you're in Presto, if you're proprietary, if it's off the shelf, the skill is transferable. So I took
Mm.
that skill and applied it to AI and
Is
see what I could do with it.
is that a Steve Jobs DNA thing there, or
It
someone else?
probably has a lot to do with him.
Okay.
I wouldn't say no. I didn't know him very well. I did see him in the early days.
Mm.
There's a very funny story where the first week when I was there, and I was watching the Up reels. I got in there. It was a very empty theater, and I sat down, and a group of people came in 2 rows behind me, and it was kind of ruckus. They were making a lot of noise, and someone had a laptop open, all this glow from the screen, and I hear clicking, click, 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 and people chatting and laughing. And I thought, should I say something? Is this how they do it at Pixar? And I'm like, oh no, just chill. You're new. Don't say anything.
Yeah.
Um, and then lights go on, and I kind of just like lean back, really kind of casually, to see what was that all about. And it was John Lasseter, Ed
Oh, wow.
Catmull, and Steve Jobs, and their entire entourage of people.
Three-headed dragon.
So if I had said anything, that would have been my last week at Pixar. So
No, no. See, Chris, Jesse's different from me because that would have been my opportunity to say something.
Oh, yeah.
I legit would have turned around and be like, "Oh, it's you! It's y'all who are making all that noise. Come on, man! I was trying to watch the movie. There was a glow, the clickety clack. Y'all were talking through the movie. Come on, man! This movie's great. Like,
Clickety clack. Hey, Jesse, Nick, I don't think I've told you this, Nick. I almost got into a fight at a theater watching
Uh-oh.
Disclosure Day.
oh
I'm not a guy who gets in fights.
yeah,
I'm a lover, not a fighter, Jesse.
Anymore.
I'm just telling you, like, I don't get in fights. But man, this dude kept shushing my wife. Oh my God. So I would lean over and I'd whisper. I'm talking about whisper.
Yep.
I've been to the movies a million times. Okay. I'm a film producer. I get that. Like, I'm a film fan and lover. Like, I get the decor. I understand how you're supposed to behave in the theater. I'm not one of those guys. Okay.
Mm.
When I tell you I'm whispering. Somehow this dude can hear me whispering every time from 2 or 3 seats over. And he's like, shh. And he did it the third time. And my wife turned to him and said, I'm going to talk to my husband. I'm going to continue to whisper to my husband. And he said, and then what was weird is he had a girlfriend, but he was a little bit softer spoken. So he's kind of a little bit like flamboyant a little bit. So he was like, it's rude. And, and then she goes, well, I'm going to keep doing it. And then he tells my wife to shut the up.
Mm.
And so I lean forward and I say, hey man, you shut the up. And then he gets up, he goes,
No.
huh? And then he stood up and walked out
Huh.
of the theater. And his wife didn't go with him. His wife left him. His wife stayed to watch it. The movie was too good. His wife stayed to watch the end. Shout out to you, Spielberg. You broke up a marriage with the quality of your film.
No. She stayed because he walked out, and she was like, "Oh man, he just got punked, and I'm not gonna walk out with him because everybody's gonna know I'm with him." So she was like,
She had the car. So she went for it.
She did the whole thing like, I don't know him.
Yeah, I don't know him. I'm sorry.
It was crazy. Anyway, I had to mention that because I hadn't said it on the show yet, and you guys brought it up.
Wow.
Steve Jobs is not the guy to shush, for sure. And I don't know anything about Ed or Steve Lasseter, but like I would assume not as well. So I understand where you're coming from, Nick. I think Jesse made the right move.
I would have done it afterwards. I wouldn't have done it during the film. I would have done it afterwards, and they would have known I was joking, and then we would have been fast friends, and then I would have been in the entourage. I would have been coffee guy.
Yeah. Exactly. You would have done the way Nick would do it. Nick would make a friend out of the three of them. He'd find a way to make sure they knew he was, just ribbing them a little bit. I would like to see that happen. Anyhow, the thing that you mentioned before about being laid off, the crazy thing about it is, don't people just treat you like you died? It's so weird. It's like you have all these friends, and when you really love your job, like I know you did, Jesse, like those people are your family.
Oh yeah.
Like you spend more time with them arguably than you do your family.
Yes.
And then they don't know you anymore. They feel bad. They start to feel bad for you. They feel sorry for you. That's like thoughts and prayers, and you feel very alone when you get laid off. Like super alone. Like you're reaching out, and people, you could just tell it's like getting a divorce. Like you realize your friends were really your wife's friends. Or vice versa. And you're like, they're still picking up my phone call, but they're acting weird and different. And so I just wonder in that moment how quickly you decided to pivot into your new studio, Illuminai. Like how did you decide to do that? Was that just through the AI curiosity, or was it like, hey, I've got to take the next step here and move on?
I was actually thinking of doing a completely different career, to be honest.
Oh wow.
I knew I had something really special with Pixar, and I was so just completely grateful for that. The legacy of films that I was able to just participate on, even in a small capacity, um, will be forever remembered in the archives of film. So that's hard to step away from. It's hard to step to another opportunity and not have to always be, well, at Pixar we used to do this. I didn't want to be that guy. I wanted something that I could be proud of equally. And I was thinking the only other thing that I really was interested in was some kind of healthcare. So I started to look into healthcare. And the more I looked into that, I saw the influx of AI going into healthcare.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is not really what I wanted to do either. I wanted to be more involved with people. And so I said, maybe if AI is really this tsunami that is coming into all industries, maybe I should look into the animation as well. And it kind of dovetailed. We were in Japan also. We go every year. And I was talking with family in Japan, and every time I talked about what I was going to do next, they kept saying, "Well, what about Pixar? What about your experience with Pixar?" And when you talk about it in Japan, this glow comes over their faces where they're so excited about what you've done. And I thought to myself, you know what? Even though the opportunity to work with Pixar has passed, there is a residual value. There's residual value of that knowledge, of that experience, and the skills that I have been graced with for 15 plus years. It would be a missed opportunity not to take that skill set and to try to apply it to something new and creative, to tell stories. In combination with, I have two young children, and they're constantly watching television. We're in a multiracial family. My wife's Japanese, and um, and I wanted something that spoke to my children's uniqueness. That wasn't currently available right now. I mean, there's plenty of great content out there. We all know. We watch it, we love it. But I wanted to do something specifically for my children. So I started to play around with it just myself, just seeing what was available, taking what I learned, and just try to make something for them. And they loved it. They're the best, most critical audience you can think of. They'll tell you straight to your face if something's not working. They'll just say that doesn't make any sense. Why did they do that? Why is this fox over here? So it's great. They're wonderful. Um, and it's great. And then they'll say that's really funny or that's really sad. I don't know why. Why is that person crying? And
Yeah.
that feedback is so the raw feedback from children, it's amazing. I mean, um, so that
I find
that was
kids can
right,
tell you why something isn't working, but they're not great at telling you why something is working.
right. Yes,
And
yeah.
but they
The
know
best
it's wrong
yeah.
when it's
Oh, yeah.
wrong. Yeah.
When it's working, they're captivated. Um, at Pixar, the directors used to go to movie theaters and they wouldn't watch their own films. They would watch the audience. And
Mhm.
child could sit through the majority of the film without shifting, without like spinning around, without wandering away. They're like, okay, we got something here. We hit it. We hit the nail on the head.
That's kind of
Um,
amazing. That's
and
kind of
so
amazing.
and I apply that same idea, with my kids to see are they interested in it? Are they captivated? Is it speaking to them? And if it does, then I'm on the right track, and I'll keep going. If they can't even watch the first minute without asking tons of questions, then they're breaking out of it already. So I'm like, okay, I
Right.
need to pull this some more. So, but yeah,
Right.
so that was the spark. That was the catalyst, was to make something just for my own family. And as I started sharing it with other family members and other members of just of our group of friends, they kept saying, you should probably do something with this. I think other people would be interested in this. So I decided to incorporate the company and to make it official. And that was the hardest conversation I ever had with my Pixar group of friends. Of
Wow.
all the people that were let go, all the technical directors that I keep in touch with, I just put it out there. I said, you know what? I'm starting a company. And it was like radio silence for a while. And I felt so embarrassed. My face got all red. And I just said, "Oh, maybe this is a huge mistake."
Mhm.
Maybe
Mhm.
maybe I'm ready for this. And then one by one, privately, they started saying, "Hey, do you need help? Can I help with this? What can I do to see more of this?" And I thought, "Wow, okay, maybe we're on to something here."
But
Um,
why
and
privately, Jesse? That's my
I think
question. Why
because the
privately? What was the shock that they had that they felt that they couldn't express themselves in the moment?
I think um, I think it has to do a lot with AI, to be honest. I think
Hmm,
the entertainment industry, artists, professionals, a lot of people are still um, there's a lot of reservation. There's a lot of concern about where we're going, how it's being created. They're excited for the opportunity, and they also know how hard it is to find work right now.
mhm,
To be honest, a lot of the people that were let go 2 years ago are still trying to find steady employment. And so a lot of people reached out to want to participate. To be honest, I am very reluctant because I want to prove what I can do first
Mhm.
before I start bringing everyone in, because I don't want it to be a massive failure and to impact other people negatively. I'm willing to take the risk myself. I'm putting all of myself into it. If it's successful, wonderful. If it's not successful, it's on me.
mhm.
I just feel like I don't want to burden on anyone else with my work in progress. So, but that's my own mental. That's I'm always looking out for them. I want them to succeed. If they can get steady employment that pays a lot of money, I want them to do that because they have mortgages, they have families to take care of. As much as I would want them to come and work with me,
Yeah.
I feel bad for them doing it for free, basically. So
But you reached some of that success already at Tribeca, right?
yes, yeah, that was wow, what a crazy phone call to get the head of the animation. Well, it's actually one of the main heads of Tribeca called, and he said, I want to congratulate you, and I didn't know. I thought I was being punked or something. And, I had submitted 2 films to Tribeca, and
Yeah.
he didn't say which film, so I was just waiting to see like, is it this one or the other one? Um, and he said, Whoopi Goldberg saw your movie and she
Wow.
loved, it. And I couldn't speak. I had no words to articulate what I was feeling. And I just said, you know, I think I'm trying to remember what I said, but I was basically just very humble about the whole thing. And, she is a legend.
Yeah.
Um, for her to get eyes on what I'm doing, and to like it, there's no bigger accomplishment for me. It's she has such a legacy of success. You know, think about all the major milestones of success for an actor, for a producer, for anyone in the entertainment industry. She's achieved it. Um, for her to be able to say, "Here's a stamp of approval. Let's get this in front of the judges." She has a select group. I think there was 7 animations that she handpicked to be in the Tribeca finalist, and we were one of the 7. We were up with amazing titans of filmmakers. Google's Deep Mind was up there with, you know, Deer's Upstairs Neighbor, um, Connie He, you know, amazing talent of
Yeah.
directorship.
Yeah.
Um, you know, Whale 52 was up there.
We know
Chickabone,
Well 52.
yeah, amazing. Oh my God. I was so embarrassed watching the other films. I thought to myself, I don't belong here, guys. Like, this is cinema up here on the screen. I felt so, I had complete imposter syndrome, um, because of the caliber of the films that were on showcase at the festival. So to meet Whoopi in person, to be on the red carpet with her, um, she is a presence. She is such a gracious presence, and when she makes eye contact with you, and we just talked. We talked for a little while. Incredible person, and yeah, it was just amazing to hear how much she appreciated the film for being made.
She's shout out to you, Whoopi. It pains me a little bit to think that there's probably 25 years of kids and young adults now that know her for, and not that it's bad to be on The View, like The View is a great show. That's why it's
Mm,
been on for so long. But
sure.
they just know her as the host of The View,
Mhm.
and they don't know how great of a comedian she is and
Oh
how
yeah.
funny and how good of an actor she was in those in her movie roles, and then how she could flip it and be dramatic, right?
Mhm.
In things like Color Purple, et cetera. Like, so, like, she didn't just get on The View, guys, because she had friends. Like, she's go back and watch her filmography. Shout out to you, Whoopi. I think
How
that's
about go back
incredible.
and watch the Oscars, Chris?
Yeah, go back and watch yeah, exactly.
Because
Hosting the
that's a thing we
Oscars.
should know, right, PB?
That's right. Hosted 4 of them.
That's
Yeah.
right,
That's right.
EGOT.
100%. So, yeah,
That's right.
Nick's spot on. Like, the one of the things that I've noticed is a hallmark of some of the kids I'm around that are around my kids is that they don't, some of them don't have a deep interest in how they got to where they're at today. They don't
Mm.
have a deep interest in, like, the history of their city, who came before them, why TikTok exists. Like, they don't, they just know that it's here, and they're good with that, and it's this very strange thing, like,
No,
don't, aren't you
it's
a
not
little bit curious?
it's not strange, Chris. It's because
Mhm.
all these kids are Doug. Squirrel.
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, you can be taking, yeah, you can take your eye off the, yeah, yeah,
Too many
their eyes can be
distractions, man.
taken
There's
off the
always
target
something
pretty
else
quick.
to look at, right? You
Yeah,
can't look behind you when there's always something else in front of you to look at, right? So yeah, that's why we do what we do. That's
that's what
why
we're here. We're
PB
here to give
has the
shouts out
things,
to people like
things we
Whoopi
should know.
Goldberg.
Yeah, man.
Mhm.
And I will say
Exactly.
for me, Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Jumpin' Jack
Yes.
Flash.
That's the Whoopi. That's
Incredible,
my
incredible
Whoopi
film.
movie. Yes, I love me some Sister Act. I'll tell you that. But Jumpin' Jack Flash,
I watched Jumpin' Jack Flash at
that's
least
it.
5 or 10 times, so
Yep.
I'm with you on that for sure, and we all watched Roar, and I guess I'm curious before we move on, are
Mhm.
you planning to make a feature out of this?
Yes. Oh yeah. Um,
Okay.
that
So,
was
by
the
the way,
big.
for the audience, Roar is the film that went to Tribeca. It's a short film. It's about 4 minutes long, maybe 4 and 20, and, it's, is it all, just to be clear, is it all AI? Is it
So it
AI animation mix? Talk about your process there.
so it's an AI hybrid approach.
Okay.
So I spent a significant amount of time creating the characters, you know, drawing them out.
Mhm.
I actually took them into Maya and built them to 3D. Because that's my background, I understand that world. I want to see how can I train an AI model to understand, you know, spatial awareness of
Mhm.
characters, or especially early on. So Roar was our very first film ever. You know, it was a proof of concept whether or not there can be a continuity of images. There's a whole laundry list of problems with AI where it's getting better, but how do you maintain continuity? How do you
Mhm.
maintain kind of an authorship of your unique style? Um, and knowing that, I wanted to try to get ahead of it and to create something where I only let the AI do what I wanted it to do, by
Mhm.
giving it very specific references that I control. Um, so I tried to feed it information about what these characters look like in three-dimensional space, what the sets look like in three-dimensional space. I took a lot of photos. We live in San Francisco, so I spent just weeks and weeks and weeks with camera, just going out, taking photos of where these locations should be, the time of day, so that we could take them. I can go into Photoshop, I can hand paint them, and to make it look 3D. Um,
Yeah.
Coming from Pixar, that was what I was really familiar with. So I knew the visual style that I wanted, and I let the AI do basically the laborious between frame animations, between two keyframe poses. Um, and I found it to be very efficient use of technology that way.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. It's actually that there was a lot of growing pains associated with that one. Um, and since then, I've learned a lot on how to improve it to the other films that I've made.
Yeah, we're excited to see what happens. I mean, it doesn't sound that different from like getting plates for,
Yeah.
a live action film where, you're going to have to model in that background and make it look as real as possible in front of behind your actors or whatever. Anyway,
Right.
and so much of it is so similar. And so I have a question for you coming up, but before that touches that, before we get to that, you mentioned your family a lot. And so I know they're really important to you. How would you grew up in Texas, how would you describe your family growing up in 3 words?
Ah, hmm. Controlled chaos. Uh, I need more than 3 words. And unconditional love. So that's 4
Okay.
words. Um,
Oh,
but,
that's
uh
okay. Unconditional, maybe? I don't know.
okay,
Nick,
yeah,
you judge it. Are you is he getting a yellow card for that?
No, no, no. I think that's just it's love,
yeah, love
basically,
it.
is the word. I think he's
Yeah.
just qualifying it. But yeah, I like the controlled chaos love.
Well, chaos, Jesse, tends to come out a lot. I think a lot of people have shared chaos, and I find that fascinating that our creative community either thrives in chaos or has experienced a sense of chaos in their youth.
Mhm,
Do you wanna explain chaos out of control,
mhm.
chaos, and love or unconditional love?
Yeah, I think our what makes our lives interesting is not the mundane. It's the challenges that we face. It's when things go wrong that tests your family strength. And
Yeah.
like every other family out there, there's highs and lows. We have experienced a lot of tragedies and a lot of blessings. And as an artist, that's what you draw from. All of
Mhm.
my film, every single film is a catharsis experience for me to kind of process these things that we've gone through. Um, and vice versa. So the film Roar is loosely based on my wife's experience growing up in Japan, being born in Tokyo, and her family being uprooted to come to San Francisco. Um, and so that there is the origin of the story is a family story. It's a very personal story, but it has a lot of universal appeal because a lot of people can relate to that. Moving, the
Yeah.
difficulty associated with moving with family as a young child. What does that feel like? Then compound that with this idea of the main character Tora, which it means tiger in Japanese.
Yeah.
She is neurodivergent, right? She's on the autistic spectrum and she cannot speak. She's nonverbal. So what does that feel like now? Um, how does that what would that feel like as a young child to be moving away from your structured environment that you feel safe in to a completely new environment where you don't speak the language, and everything is different. Your routine
Yeah.
is non-existent. How does that feel? What does that feel like? For the film Roar, this little girl, as because she cannot verbalize how she's feeling, her sadness and her happiness, she relies on her music. She
Mm,
she wears headphones throughout the film, and the soundtrack is actually her inner monologue. It's how
mhm,
she's feeling. She's interpolating it, as music, but it's actually her thoughts and her feelings are coming across as music. So we wanted to touch into the musical aspect as well as to showcase this new world for her. So yeah, so it's an interesting idea. It's something that we felt, oh, this is cool. This could really work well for animation.
Yeah.
And I remember Andrew Stanton he's famous for many, many things. And he would say, when you pitched a story to Andrew, he would say, why does this need to be done in animation? And
Mhm.
I always think about that. Why can't I just take a camera and just take real actors and shoot this? So
Right.
I always ask myself, what is unique about the story? Why do we need to tell this in an animated story? And the answer to that question will be in the feature, because there's a whole aspect to this short that I can't actually explain it yet, but there's going to be a whole world that this girl experiences in her mind that has to be done animated.
Got
It
it.
can only be done animated. I don't want to give too
So
much
like
away, but
in the mind's eye sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Got it.
exactly.
And have
I'm
you
thinking
and you
I'm
wrote the
knowing
script
where it's
already?
going.
So yeah, so I have see how many pages? 30 pages? About 30
Okay,
pages.
got Act 1 in. Act 1's
Yeah,
going up.
yeah,
Okay, we're
yeah.
we're excited. I
So,
look, and Nick can relate. He came back from summer camp one year and his whole house was gone.
oh no,
Yeah.
jeez.
It wasn't no
Isn't that right,
tornado,
Nick?
bro. Yeah. What I say, it wasn't no tornado. No, my family had moved. That's basically what
Yeah.
happened, is that
That's what
I
happened.
drove into a new driveway, and it was not my home, and yet it was my home.
Oh
Never
no.
So,
saw his old
yes.
friends again. Never
Yeah,
saw his old house
I've
again. They
Oh my.
I've
left his
experienced that,
binky.
and of course, I've experienced that, going from Maryland down to
Mm,
Tennessee,
mm.
and I heard people say things like, "Used to could," and I was like, "Wait, what is this new
Uh,
language I'm learning here?"
that's all one word too, by the way.
That's
Yeah,
right, it's all one
that's in the
word.
Tennessee dictionary. Used to
No,
could.
no, I think the word is a little bit longer. "I used to could do that." It's like, "Wait, what?" So, yes, I'm
There's
quite familiar.
yeah, it's like this whole speak a language I can hear sort of thing. That definitely happens, like, in these southern states where it's like, they know immediately whether you're, an outsider or not
That's
if you
right,
can't
that's
get with the
right.
lingo. This is great, man. Listen, I promised the question, so I wanna ask it. A lot of people that, we talk to, we have an internship program, a lot of young people, they wanna get into animation, they
Oh,
really don't know where to start. And
uh-huh,
I just wonder if you could give us a sense of, if you were starting over from 0,
uh-huh,
what would be sort of your starter kit? And maybe if that's not something that you can answer effectively in your own opinion, maybe you can just say, should they be starting with traditional animation software, or should they
uh-huh.
dive headfirst or headlong into AI?
Mhm. I get that question a lot. A lot of people reach out to me, and I love it when they do that, because when I was a student, I did that as well. I reached out to alumni that were at ILM. Tim McLaughlin, who is now the head of Texas A&M's Visualization Masters and PhD program, but he was
Mm,
a character TD at ILM. And I was a grad student, and I reached out to him with all these concerns. What is the industry like? I heard salaries are being slashed. I heard people are being laid off. And this is years ago, mind you. Um, and I think that's very normal for students to be uncertain about what they're getting into, especially if you're going to a private school and you have a mountain of debt that you're going to be carrying on your back
yeah.
for years. You want to know, and it makes a lot of sense. So when students reach out to me, I'm very open to it, and the answer is evolving, but I strongly, strongly feel that anyone who's interested in the entertainment industry, as far as animation goes, um, it's crucial, crucial, crucial that they start with traditional art, animation,
Mm,
photography, illustration. Know the classics of your industry, because that skill set is what AI cannot understand. There's no value associated with the product that AI will do.
mm.
If you prompt it, the easiest AI stuff, you just write something out, it spits out some kind of image. AI
What
is
we call slop.
yeah, it's inherently not capable of telling you the value associated with that. The only one that can tell you the value is you. As an artist with your critical eye, you have to have the understanding of value, of what is the emotional content of that image. Is it good? Is it bad? Um, do you keep pushing on it? Do you say it's good enough? That requires skill. That requires an expertise, and it requires you to put in the hours of really understanding your craft. So yes, absolutely. Take all of the traditional courses in art, drawing, claymation, study film, do many, many film classes, get your hands on as many films as you can. Um, all of those things will help prepare you for a successful career because you will be asked to take new software in any job you go to. They'll
Mhm.
ask you to either know some software or be ready to learn it on the job, and the skills that you have will be evaluated in your interview. Those people are expert in finding the raw talent that you have. And if you have that raw talent, they can then apply it to a job. AI, in my opinion, is a very powerful tool, but it is one tool of many tools that are needed right now. Um,
Right.
it helps amplify an artist's um, efficiency, but I don't believe it makes the artist. If you go down that route, I think it takes away from your artistry. I guess it was 2 months ago. I had an opportunity to talk with Pete Docter and Frank Oz at
Mm.
the Lucas building, and I asked them. I said, what's your thoughts as directors? What is your thought on AI? And they said, any tool that helps a director to authentically share their vision to audiences, it should be evaluated and embraced as long as it's authentic, though. And that is the caveat, right? It's if you allow AI to do everything, then it's not your
Uh,
story, really. That's AI's story. So,
yeah.
as if a director, as an artist, if you allow AI to help you to facilitate your unique vision authentically, then it is a tool, like many other tools out there. But if you allow it to do everything, then it's no longer yours, and you're cheapening your own vision, actually. So, and I agree with Frank Oz and Pete Docter in
I
that regard.
I do too, and I think that's why our we have a podcast series that utilizes AI in our back
Yeah.
catalog called Summaries, and I think one of the reasons it's been embraced for the most part. I mean, there's been concerns from audience members, but for the most part, it's been seriously embraced, and it's
Huh.
because they can tell that we're not just letting the AI do everything. Like our fingerprints are all over. It's actually kind of hard to make it perfect and to do it the right
Yeah.
way. There's
Mhm.
like definitely a process, and they wouldn't even exist without our original interviews, right? So I think that authenticity piece is key. And thank you, my friend. That was an awesome story is king. And with that, I will hand it off to Nicholas Buggs to illuminate us with an audience poll. Make it so just like his T-shirt for those listening. It says "Make it harder." And he wants to make the audience polls harder and harder and harder.
What are you even
Oh, I'm
talking
sorry.
about?
He leaned back. It doesn't say hard. It says make it happen. Sorry for
What are
those
you
listening. For
talking
those
about?
just listening, Nick's t-shirt says make it happen. It doesn't say make it harder. That is my
Wow.
bad. That is my bad.
Wow.
Okay, go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
Wow. Yeah, and I think I don't know if he meant what he said earlier, Jesse, when he said illuminate us. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, pun intended, right? All
Yeah.
right, so this was a very simple
Pun's
poll,
always intended.
exact, very simple poll, to answer. So the question is, will AI replace CGI?
Mm,
So,
mm.
two simple answers, yes, for sure, or no, there's room for both. All right. So the
No.
results are with 86%, yes, for sure. 14%, no. There's room for both. What do you think?
That's fascinating. If you had asked me, I would have thought it was the other way around. But um, it's I think it
I love
depends.
polls like that.
Yeah.
It
Um,
happens a lot.
we're- as what?
Yeah.
As a tool for the hobbyist or for professionals making $100 million animations? I think that we have to make that distinction because right now AI, um, it's being used by so many people. Right now,
Yeah.
the bar for entry has been dropped to the floor. A lot of people are talking about the race to the bottom, right? Where
Yeah.
the cost barrier is minimal, right? And the product quality, seemingly is very high, and a lot of people are worried about that. Will it replace 3D animation in the traditional sense when you have a cast and you have ray tracing and you have this whole render farm system that is very time consuming, very cost, there's a lot of prohibitiveness to it. And there's a lot of individuals that are required. I think there's going to be a hybrid where the advances of the software of AI will help achieve more efficiency for studios, but I don't think it's going to be a full out replacement. Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, and I think the concern
What do you
is
think,
that
Nick?
it's getting better and better and better, right?
Uh-huh.
And what you can do with a prompt, right? You can speak your prompt if you want. So now they're just saying, just say it, right, and get your result. And I think that's the idea. That's maybe the fear. That's the expectation, is that
Mhm.
the pace at which it's improving, it's so fast that at some point in the next 5 years, maybe, you'll be able to say what you want, and then it will do it exactly as you intended, as opposed to you having to tweak things and adjust. So I think that's where, I mean, honestly, it's hard to see. Some of the stuff that we've
Yeah,
seen, like Chris mentioned slop earlier, that's laziness, I think.
right.
Mhm.
Um, and then to another degree, it's, I think the bar has been lowered on entertainment.
Mhm.
Right? So I think those are 2 things that are happening.
That's interesting,
But
Nick.
but the people who are taking it seriously, this stuff is ridiculous. Like, some of the stuff, and I've mentioned this, I think, before on this podcast, where, I'm getting things pushed to me that I'm having to push back on social media, right? On Instagram.
Mhm.
I go into my feed and I see these things that look very real. This isn't animation,
Mhm.
right? This looks like real people doing real things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they're not real,
Right.
but
Oh yeah.
I almost can't tell. I mean, it is so close to hyper realism. I
Mhm.
am literally spending way too much time trying to identify why it's not real, right? But
That's
there's certain
yeah.
tells that either the profile has
Mhm.
or the content has. And these
Right.
days, it's less the content and more
Mm.
the profile.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's the part that I think people are saying is like, if this can be done now,
Mhm.
what's going
Sure.
to happen in the
Well,
next 5
yeah.
years?
I mean, the thing is the pain to change to me, Nick. Like, remember back in the day when we had the pleasure of touring Technicolor in LA?
Mhm.
And, how do you replace that guy? I'm forgetting his name, but he was a brilliant engineer. Like not talking about Brian Adler. I'm talking about
Right, I
the
know.
other guy. It's like, how do you replace him? Because he's already perfected his process. Like, um, what he was doing in that room was photo and pixel perfect to the movie he's working on. They've perfected that. So why change that unless it becomes so painful to pay that price
Mm.
versus what you might get with AI, right? Because what I don't think will happen is because I hear what you're saying about like the acceptance of lower quality is happening. I agree with that. I agree with that. But when it comes to filmmaking, what takes you out of a film is a sudden shift in tone and quality of the movie.
Well,
Like how
that's the
many
difference
times
between
did
filmmaking and content, right? We talked about
right.
that. Like, you can
Well,
accept it
also
in
the skit
content.
making and
Yeah, but
filmmaking,
you can
2
accept it
different
in
things.
content when it's
Yeah.
5 seconds long, right? But will you accept it in a longer form film?
Yes, but the poll says CGI or AI, and I just don't think
Right.
people are using CGI in content that often, if
Oh, no,
ever.
no. Yeah, yeah.
And so to me, it's like, I think about in film, even we mentioned Disclosure Day earlier. They had these animals in the movie, and every time the animal would come on screen, it changed the tone of the movie. It would change it from mysterious to Disney-like because it just kind of was a little bit weird looking. You kind of understood it was fake. It was a cartoon, and to me, that's a big price to pay. I mean, that alone kept that movie from being A++ in a lot of people's eyes, and that's where I'm curious to see, like, I do think there's a race that you talked about, Jesse, like, race to the bottom, but here's the race that I think is happening is, can they get adoption and quality faster than they go bankrupt? So the
Yeah.
mounting debt that is happening, the bubble that is being created from these AI models is close to bursting, right? This is like this costs billions and trillions of dollars to build and make make it the way we need to make it. We're giving it away in many cases, and it keeps improving. Can it improve and actually do this arguably terrible thing while also being an amazing thing of being so productive that it makes it where we have to shift to AI and get rid of CGI because it's too affordable, it's too great, and boom, it saves the day, and now we can jack the price up and make the money back.
Yeah. No, that's on my mind. It keeps me awake at night. I wanted to. I didn't want to be dependent on AI to make the studio work. As someone with limited funds, and I didn't want to bring in all of my friends to work for free, it was the next logical step to creating content quickly in an efficient manner. If I had, $10 million, I would take all my friends and all these experts, and we would make it. We would make it in a similar fashion, but we would have a little bit more control over the content in a way that I would use less AI probably, because AI comes with headaches. It comes with a lot of headaches. There's a lot of stigma about it, where we're um, we're sending our films out to festivals, getting tremendous feedback, positive feedback, and then they'd say, "Oh wait, this is AI," and it's. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not hiding it. It's in the name of the studio. Um, and once they find out, they're like, "I'm sorry, no, we're taking it back. Like, we can't, we can't entertain this success." So that's real. That's
That
real.
is
Right.
that is happening all over the place, man. That is
Yeah.
we were just talking about this funny little meme on the internet, this sort of George Costanza on peptides thing.
This is the glow up of George!
And if you're on X, the platform X, people are kind of like receptive to it a little bit. If you're on Threads, they want to kill you.
Yeah.
They want you to go away. They're like, "What are you doing? Like, how could you even touch this? How could you even entertain it?"
Yeah.
And then earlier you mentioned AI in healthcare. Nobody cares about it there. They'd love it there. It's like, oh, it's going to cure cancer. It's going to figure out how proteins fold.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
AI. That's how we should be using it. And there's this sort of social policing that's happening right now that's saying it's cool to use AI this way. It's not cool to use it in film.
Mm. Yeah. And interesting, I'm just starting to dive into this now, different countries associated with their view. You go to South Korea, you go to Indonesia, Malaysia, very different. India, very different evaluation on AI and animation. A lot of the countries that are well known for being very successful at outsourcing to Hollywood are
Mhm,
very pro AI because that's the next logical step to maintaining that dominance of the
mhm,
outsourcing industry, to make their industry work. Um, and I was kind of hoping that in the U.S. and California and in England and in France that they would also feel that way. That this may be an opportunity to reclaim some of that ownership and not have to outsource quite as much. The profitability of animation is it's so fragile. It takes so much money to make these things, that it we saw the trend the last 25 years of outsourcing, outsourcing, outsourcing. And a long time, not that well, 10, 20 years ago, the quality was much lower. And
mhm.
it's progressively gotten better and better and better. And now it's kind of indistinguishable for a lot of it. Just the quality. The storytelling is different. But
Yeah.
if you look at just the quality, we see that trend, right? We've seen it for a long time. And the jobs in the States have gone down significantly as the jobs overseas have gone up. I thought, wow, what if we could use AI to reclaim some of that ownership, to bring jobs back to the States, to say, you know what? Okay, we want to save money. We want the business to work in film. This is a way that we can still maintain creating content in the States and do it in an efficient way and create jobs for the artists back here instead of
Yeah.
having everyone go overseas. Um, I was really fortunate. I used to have lunch with the chief financial officer at Pixar, and we would talk about how bad the business model is for film. It's not good at all. It just doesn't
We've
really
talked
work.
about that a lot on this show.
Yeah, and at the time, this is before the big AI movement blew up. Um, Everyone was just saying we don't have any good solutions to how we can make more money. It
Yeah.
costs so much. There's so much overhead. The talent costs so much. The only way they could think of it was to outsource or to get tax subsidies from other countries and things like that. Um, and I couldn't get my brain around that idea that there was no alternative solution. So when AI started to develop more seriously, I thought maybe this is that missing piece of the puzzle that would allow us to do more internally and stir up that, to revive it, to revive Hollywood back. It hasn't been embraced that way, not yet, at least. But
No.
other countries are very much moving in that direction. Japan is very interesting. I'm talking to a lot of people in Japan, and it's very split. They love animation. They love technology. They love animation, but they love the soul. The soul is this bridge between the two,
Mhm.
and they sold on that yet. They're not sold that AI can carry the soul of the intent of the artist through to the final image. So there's this pause. They're not quite sure where to go. China, on the other hand, no pause. They are light speed moving forward with AI. I heard something where like 6,000 to 10,000 short films a month are being created in China. So
Yeah,
it's
the
just,
the
it's,
the the verticals, the verticals.
oh yeah.
It's cra
Um,
it's crazy.
yeah.
And they have a different type of government there too, I
Mhm.
just to say that. But yeah, that eh, the question is, will we get used to it and then
Yeah.
accept it, or where do you put your chips
Uh-huh.
is interesting question. And Nick, I think you can wrap us up on this, but what you just said reminded me of sort of this funny lesson in trading, which is that a good trade or a good contract is one where the person selling thinks he won or she won, and the person buying thinks he or she won, right? And that's what makes for a good business model. A
Mhm.
good business model is where the consumer thinks they got more value out of their dollar
Mhm.
than the producer, and the producer thinks they got more value out of the payment than it costs to make. And there's a little open sort of trick that you're sharing with the buy and sell process all the time and everything that you do. And the movie business is broken because it's too obvious that the producing side is
Uh,
getting the short end of the stick, in most cases. Nick?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that it's interesting when the Japanese are thinking about the soul part of things, because I don't think the intent is for the AI to carry the soul. I think that the intent is for the AI to accompany it. So,
Mm,
they
yeah.
shouldn't fear that. And,
uh-huh.
with me, I'll just say that when I use AI for things, I don't tell people I'm using AI for this. Right? Just like I don't say, "Hey, guess what? I use the internet for this. Hey, I use Google for this," right? "Hey, I
Yeah, yeah.
use the calculator for this." I don't tell people what tools I use, right? My job is to deliver some sort of value, art, creativity, whatever it is. So I don't ever lead with that. It's just like,
Mhm.
for me, it's a tool. It's one of the many things that I use in order to do what I do. And I
Yes.
think that's the fear that people have, is of when you say the tool and they automatically fear that thing, that's when you get the
Right.
pushback.
And that's the
That's the
AI
concern.
company's fault, Nick.
I mean,
That
could
that's
very,
that
very
that's
well,
Dario
yeah,
at
very well
Anthropic's
be.
fault. That's Sam at ChatGPT's fault. That's the model owner's fault. They've created doomerism. They've created fear. And listen, I think people in the US, the artists I talk to, feel the same as the people in Japan. It's like we now care how something was made,
Uh,
not just what was made.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that,
And we'll
yeah, the
see.
other part of that is just that, we do have these things called deep fakes, right? That's the part that
Jobs
is,
are on
I
the
think, really
line. Per-
well, it was
yeah.
really concerning when you can just take someone's likeness, you can take someone's voice,
Yeah.
you can take someone's content, you can take their art and then enter it
Steal it.
into an engine
Suno.
that then
Suno stealing
produces this
music.
stuff. Right. So that's I think the bigger part of it is not that people are using it, it's just that's what people are afraid of, that something of them, their voice, their face, and or their soul will be stolen and AI will replicate it. That's
We're
the
in wild
fear.
times, guys. We're in wild times. I think there's white hat AI users and black hat AI users. I think there's people who are afraid to have their identity stolen, and then you see like that influencer on the internet who erroneously thought that he had sold his likeness to a company for $975 million. Remember the giant influencer in Nigeria? Like he was willing to sell his whole life for a Billy, right? Like to an AI company to use his likeness and AI make videos out of it. It's all over the place. We're in the Wild West. Our kids are going to be asking, our grandkids are going to be asking, what it was it like to be living on the frontier of AI. And so the conversation is so delicious and tasty. Nick, great job
and
on the
never ending.
audience poll. And now let's just pause to pay some bills. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, a quick pause, and don't worry, I'm not about to sell you a mattress or a meal kit as we have in the past and every other podcast in the world has. Here's the thing that nobody warns you about in film school. Making the movie is only half the job, right? We've been talking about this for years. There's show and then there's business, right? The other half is getting a single human being to actually watch your movie. And that's exactly why we wrote Mastering Film Marketing, an ebook that walks you through building an audience, running a real campaign, and selling your film without selling your soul. It's the playbook we wish someone had handed us 10 years ago and maybe several bad decisions ago, but we're not going to go into that. And if you want to go deeper, there's Make It Academy, right? This is brand new. A suite of 300 plus exercises built from the actual advice of the experts and filmmakers we've had on the show, right? Think of it as everything our guests know turned into homework that actually pays off, right? Here's the really good part. Full disclosure, I'm the president of the Nashville Film Festival board, and the festival runs this year from September 24th through the 30th. So make sure you go get those badges at nashvillefilmfestival.org. In addition, to celebrate this, we cooked up a code. It's NashFilm20 for 20% off our entire site. So here's all you need to do. Go to themakeitpodcast.com, click merch or academy in the menu, and enter Nash Film 20 at checkout. You can support the show, learn something, and look good doing it. Okay. And now back to the show. And we are back to the show, and that means it's Filmmaker Q&A time. Once again with Nick. Let's go. Let's drop some Filmmaker Q&A. Let's learn some stuff about animation. Let's learn some stuff about Illuminai. Let's learn some stuff about AI and animation and how to keep the soul in it.
Yeah, we're gonna do some things, but I will tell you, man, I was scrambling a little bit because
Eggs?
I had my questions
No?
ready to go, and then my man Jesse, well, now I'll say Jesse, prompted by Chris, like answered a bunch of my questions. I'm like, man, I gotta swap some things out and do some things.
Oh man.
So yeah, story is king. Went a little long today. So what I'm gonna do is I gotta switch up and do some things, but we're gonna make it work. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So my first question is this. So one of your guiding principles is that AI is a brush, not the artist. So, you've talked a little bit about this, but I really want to know where you draw the line between AI accelerating, which is what we just talked about, creativity, and beginning to replace creativity, right? That's the key. Accelerating creativity, not the artist. And then, of course, replacing creativity.
Yeah, I think it depends on how the artist uses it. AI will fully and happily replace the creativity if you ask it to. You can say, create a picture of Mount Fuji at sunset with clouds and the sun in the left, and I want squirrels that are smoking cigars on the trees, and and it'll boom, boom, done. It'll do it. And there are cases that are being used in that regard. For our studio, for my own interest, we didn't want to go in that direction. And sometimes it's really going against what the AI is meant to be creating. But to stop it and say, no, no, this is my image that I created. I drew this image. I took a photograph of this image. I went into Photoshop and I painted this. Take this image from this key frame, from this camera angle, and then go to this next camera angle. And this is where the characters should be here, and this is where they should be here. And just do the between frame animations between from one to another. And and that you're really putting the harness on the AI to rein it back and not let it go completely wild. And that's how we use it, so that the origin of the creativity remains with the artist in the first frame and then the last frame. The between frames, yes, I will be very open that there are some things that the AI put in there that I didn't originally intend. Sometimes between frame animations, some of it's good, some of it's bad, a lot of it's bad, and that requires nuance in your evaluation on what to keep and what not to keep. And to say, you know what, okay, I can live with this. That also brings into this whole idea of, okay, I didn't originally intend for this image to look that way. Do I still have ownership of that image? I'll give you a good example. For one of the films that I made, Shine, the exact same thing happened where there was a pan of the camera. And in that pan, the AI introduced a sign in the background, and I did not ask it to do that. It did it on its own, and
Mm.
it had a likeness of the Coca-Cola symbol, and I was
Hmm.
like, "That's a bad idea, AI. You can't do
Yeah.
that." You know? I mean, I know enough to do that, and that caused me to create a copyright detection system internally, so that everything that's run and generated, I run through my own protection, so that it checks for copyright, trademark, all these things to verify that every frame meets compliance, so
That's
that we're not
fascinating.
borrowing from anyone else. All the characters are ours, and it's more the background stuff that
Hmm.
it likes to pop in little things, but you have to be really diligent about it because even with our own stuff, I've seen things where it put in a character that wasn't ours, and I'm like, no, 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 take that out. Yeah, I know you're trying to be helpful AI, but you're you're getting us into really big trouble. So you have to be really mindful with allowing it to have any creativity because it doesn't understand the context that it's creating it with. It's trying to be helpful, but you really have to have checks and balances with it and not allow it to be too creative because it will get away from your story. It will get away from your vision very, very fast. So we've had to keep the reins really tight with the AI to just let it do what we tell it to do. That's a long-winded
That's
answer to.
awesome. No, no, that's perfect, and
That was
it
great.
makes me think that there's a distinction between
Mhm,
creation and
mhm,
creativity.
mhm.
So, I think
Yep.
that's perfectly said.
Mm,
Alright, my next one is this. Now, Pixar has long been considered one of the greatest storytelling organizations in the world. I mean,
mm.
I got the Up Lego set here, man. It's just and I think we're gonna get what's the lamp's name again?
Luxo, the Luxo lamp.
Yeah, Luxo lamp, Luxo Junior. Anyway, yeah, like, in the world, right? So my question is, what lessons about storytelling and creative culture from your Pixar years are impossible to replace with technology no matter how advanced AI becomes?
Yeah, AI is horrible at human emotions, and so it doesn't understand it. You can try to have it understand the complexity of our thought and our feelings, but it's all an approximation based on an assimilation of ideas that has no contextual awareness of. So
Hmm,
what makes Pixar movies and other studios that really are emotional and driving um, is is the human element to it. And right now, thank God, AI doesn't know how to do that because that's where our sweet spot as artists. That's where we can protect, in my opinion, is that emotional content of our what we create.
Yeah.
It's not just something that looks beautiful. It's okay, what is the meaning behind that? Why are you creating that? What is the story you're trying to tell? And that has to be done by artists. That has to be done by people, I believe. I strongly believe that. And I think I'll fight tooth and nail to that point. And the more you allow AI to do, it will replicate something that seems, like a film. but it's going to be an approximation based on someone else's idea that was an emotional film. Um, so for us, for creating new ideas for original stories like Pixar does, I think you really have to be a true artist. You have to be a filmmaker. You have to have life experience, and then you have to try to use AI to help, facilitate the laborious tasks in that pipeline. But yeah, I think Pixar has such a successful track record of great films. I think Pete Docter is my favorite director there, just because I love every time I've had a chance to work with him. I've always learned so much. He
Mhm.
challenges you, but he has the integrity of his story locked into place. Even if it changes, he still has his heart is always in the right place. So, it just is such a delight. But every director that has an opportunity to work at Pixar, they create amazing things because if you look at the whole pipeline of Pixar, everybody is just incredible. So you have incredible, all these people that are experts at what they do. So as you're on the assembly line and your little, your job, and you get to adjust something, the person that touched it right before you is amazing, and the person before them is amazing. So every step along the way, it's just no wonder the content is amazing when it ends because it's just all these hands have touched it along the way that are just exceptional artists.
Yeah,
So every step
we were just
along the
talking
way,
about
you're
that
just
earlier this week,
saying,
Nick.
yeah, but every step along the way, he just saying it's just Incredibles all over
Incredibles.
the place.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Now we know where they came up with the movie title from, right? Like
Yep. He was
no,
biographical, autobiographical, It's like, yeah, that's what we are, bro. Like, come
but that's what I
on.
love about some of the protections that the WGA and other unions put in place in the movie business around the creativity. Like, okay, AI cannot win an Oscar or an Academy Award for writing.
Uh-huh,
That's an important protection and distinction. Like right away, it keeps the human emotion and experience in the loop.
uh-huh.
Right? It makes it keeps that bridge between creation and creativity that you talked about, Nick, intact. Anyway, go
Yeah,
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, for sure. All right, so the next one is this. Throughout film history, every technological leap from sound to CGI has changed how stories are made. When people look back 20 years from now, what do you hope they'll say Illuminai Studios contributed to the future of animation?
Mm.
I love that question. I hope that we are remembered for a force of good, that we've made content that's entertaining for audiences
Writing
all
that
over the world.
down.
We would love to be remembered or just embraced as something that helped push the boundaries forward to allow others to make films, like high quality films, um, and to show anyone that you can accomplish something amazing if you have the right people, if you have the right intent and the integrity behind what you do to stand up for the story that you want to tell. Um, I think that would be amazing if we could have that kind of legacy. That we would have films that people love and they want to watch again. So, um, yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
Um,
I love that.
yeah,
All right, so I've got one more, and
mhm,
this one it's based off of Roar.
mhm,
Okay, so our main character in Roar is neurodivergent, and I've seen a lot of content that features neurodivergent characters, and the goal is to introduce neurodivergence to the broader audience.
mhm,
Is there a space for neurodivergent characters for neurodivergent audiences?
mhm.
Hmm.
I love that. I think yes, the answer is absolutely yes. And there's no one size fits all in that group that we're trying to embrace. Um, we have family members who are neurodivergent. We have two family members that are closely in our family, and one of them will not watch movies. It's just they can't. They have no
Mhm.
interest. They will read about it, and they love to read about it, but they will not visually sit in a movie theater or watch it on the television, but will consume enormous amounts of content just by reading about it. They know everything, encyclopedic knowledge of animation, of anime, everything you can possibly. They have such an amazing knowledge, but have not watched a single frame of animation.
Hmm.
Wow.
However, and then we have another family member who consumes it, with ease and relishes in it and does their own drawings on it. So I think there is, yes, I think there is a way that we can make content for those individuals that they can embrace and that they can feel that it represents them well. Again, returning to this word that we often use is authenticity. My
Mm.
wife, who is our executive producer, is also a classically trained therapist who sees
Shout out to
children.
Barbara.
Yes, to Barbara. And so she sees that population of clients who do fall within that spectrum. So having her on board to help write the story and to help design these characters helped us to kind of make the characters feel realistic and not we're not trying to talk up or down to a population. We're trying to say we we want to, we want to have something for you. This is something for you to have so that you feel like you're not alone, that you have a voice. The film Roar, it's about having the voice to project your feelings. And this film in a way is a love letter to that community to say, we hear you, we see you, and we want to help you roar with your own uniqueness.
Right. We hear you, we see you in the voice that you speak in, right? And speak through. And I think that's
Yes.
amazing. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. That's the filmmaker Q&A, man. I wanted to, keep it short and sweet, but thoughtful enough. And I will say that your answers were perfect, man. I appreciate the time on that.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that was dope. And it goes back to that whole speak a language you can hear thing. I guess that's, I always go, I say, it probably, I was trying to find a different way to say it because I keep saying the same shit over
Uh,
and over again. But it's like, it just is what it is. Like the value and the importance of being able to communicate in a way where it lands on somebody and there's not noise in between might be the greatest skill a human being has. Like, it's right up there with math, and I just don't think people understand it and realize it. And when you
uh,
have a medium like film,
mm,
it just proves it over and over again. So,
I think that the greatest skill that we can potentially wield is a willingness to listen,
yeah.
and to find the voice that again used to could. I don't know what is that, right? I can push back on that or I can embrace it, right? That is the
Yeah.
language I need to embrace, and I
Which
think
one did
that's
you
what
do?
we have. I embraced it 100%, 100%. But it's great when people are actually willing, again, for the neurodivergent community. Which what's interesting about that is I think that it is such a broad spectrum that we're all on it.
Yeah.
Right, we all think, feel, learn differently than one another.
uh,
So we actually have to embrace our own divergence,
uh,
and what happens is that that extra bit is when that divergence seems so far, right? It seems to separate you so far, and if you're willing to lean a little bit more out of your comfort zone and listen, then you get to experience something beautiful and new. So yeah, again, I do appreciate what you're doing with Roar, and I'm sure that that won't be the end of your exploration into these
No,
worlds. So it's awesome.
it's a Roar feature film coming up, man. So
That's right.
we'll see
That's
it.
right.
All right,
yeah.
PB, your game is already half up. Okay, Jesse already picked out your Easter egg. For those listening, Papa Bear is sitting in front of an image of the campus at Pixar, and Jesse, on our break, off camera, off mic, was like, "Hey, that's a great picture of Pixar."
Well done.
So he found the Easter egg already. The question is, Jesse, are you
Uh,
going to get this things we should know? Papa Bear,
uh,
take it away.
Well, I think he'll get it. Uh, Nick will too, I'm sure. Uh,
Mm.
by the way, for those watching and
So
listening,
much confidence in me, by the way. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, this Pixar campus is in Emeryville, California.
Ooh,
So,
all right.
It's a thing
one
we
thing
should
I
know.
really want to know, because I need a nickel for it every time, and that's how many times we've said AI so far. I I think if I had
we
a
could use
nickel
an
for
AI
every
to
time
find
we
out how
said
many times you
AI,
said AI.
I'd have a full pocket.
That's right.
You'd have a pocket full of nickels.
So there's no surprise that my thing we should know has to do with AI. We've talked a lot
That's
about
another nickel. Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah. I'm going to try to say it every time. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
Who first coined the term artificial intelligence and in what year?
Allen Iverson. Allen
Wow.
Iverson. He
Wow.
trademarked
Go for it.
AI when he went to the championship in 2000 with the Philadelphia
Allen
76ers.
Iverson.
He owns it. Every time somebody says AI, he has the right to sue. He doesn't always do it because he's a nice guy.
He's getting the
but
nickels.
he has the right to sue.
Right,
Yes.
he's getting the nickels.
Allen
I thought you
Iverson
said
is
every
getting the
time
nickels.
you said someone said AI like an angel gets its wings or something.
But here's the thing that's crazy, Nick, is that what was Allen Iverson's nickname? The Answer. The Answer. Now, how did they know to name him the Answer with AI back in the 90s and early 2000s? There was no AI.
Interesting. So AI is the answer?
Even the movie AI with Haley Joel Osment had not come out yet. And they called him the Answer. Hold on now. Hold on now.
Wait, is that the thing we should know? Or does Papa Bear have the thing we should know?
I'm just saying
confused.
it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. Okay, so the question, PB, the real question is who coined the term AI in what year?
Yes.
Man, is it Ray Kurzweil or his dad like in the 1960s or 70s? Maybe it's Isaac Asimov, the fiction, the sci-fi writer. I know I mispronounced that shit. I know I did.
Is that your entry? Asimov.
That's what I'm going with. Nick, what do you got? There's that father of AI, but I think AI was already invented before the father talked about it. His name Conrad something. I don't know. They do the work for Google and quit.
This is kind of sucks. Like I want to go with the scientific answer and be like, it was in 1956 when we first came up with this first thing on AI. And then I'm like, it's a filmmaking podcast. So I want to go. I can't remember the name of the film now, but I can see that woman's face. You know, she's
what
spikes
movie?
on her head. And she's silver.
The Statue of Liberty?
AI. No, man. She's in the movie and she's silver and she's.
Metropolis?
Yes.
Is that the
that's the movie? And
the
I
one
want
that
to
just
say
came
that
out?
it was and it's the name of the I would say the writer of that movie would be the first person to coin the term AI.
Was that Fritz
but
Lang?
I don't know.
So Fritz Lang is your answer, Nick?
That's yes.
Fritz Lang.
That's
all right,
my
Jesse, what do you got?
Because
you got anything?
I think that movie might.
Dang,
he said 1956.
So, well, no, 56, and that was around the time when, if you take it back, it's 1954 or something like that, where we'll say that we were using some of the first AI back then. So what if I went a little bit further back and said it's 1936? And I'm going to say Fritz Lang. I have no clue when that movie came out. So now I'm all jacking everything up. So I don't know, man. I'm going to say 1936, and it's Fritz Lang from the movie Metropolis that probably didn't even come out in that year. But I'm just throwing stuff out because something's got to stick.
I like it. I'm going to go 19. when did Al Gore invent the internet? 1969. I'm going to go 1969 PB on mine, okay? Just so you have a year connected to my incorrect answer. Jesse, what do you got?
Okay.
So when the first No, I honestly I don't. I think I'm going to guess the first time artificial intelligence was used would probably be in the mid 60s. But I don't know who.
Mid 60s.
Okay.
All right. Nick, what was your year again?
1936. The movie that Metropolis didn't come out.
And then Jesse's got mid 60s. Mid 60s. But no name, right?
Yeah.
All right. PB, lay it on us. Gently.
Okay, I'm going to really have to give this to Nick for not getting it right, but for bouncing all around it.
Yeah.
So in 1955,
Oh,
John
I said 54 and
Wow.
56.
Wow.
Well,
Okay,
I would have accepted
1955.
56 as well. In 1955, mathematician John McCarthy first coined the term artificial intelligence in a funding proposal, and a year later, 56, the AI field of study was established at the Dartmouth Summer Research Project on artificial intelligence.
See, I knew
That
that. I
is
knew, like I said, the
amazing.
scientific answer is 1956.
That is amazing. I'm going to give it to Nick.
Chris,
Nick,
I went too deep, though. I thought he was trying to trick us. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm going to go to a movie and say Metropolis, which, can y'all look that up? We got to find out when Metropolis came out. I'm going to look it up because...
look it up, but for congratulations to you. And for that, I'm going to give you a little gift. I know that everybody that watches the show knows as well. You're a soccer nut. I'm going to give you the Argentinian call for Messi's last goal during the amazing game between Argentina and Egypt. And
Why are you bringing that up?
Se debía la pelota que cae al área. No pudo Julián Messi.
They never end.
No, that's the spirit of of football. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Football.
That's
But
what
I
you
would
just
say
did. You just scored a Messi goal in the 90th
right
minute
now,
with
at
that
this
things we
period
should
of
know.
time in the World Cup, I'd prefer not to be associated with that team. So we're gonna have to see how the FBI investigation shakes out.
I know,
we're
that's
gonna have
scary.
to figure
That's
out
weird.
what's going on.
Why does the government keep getting involved in soccer?
Bro, because it's a game changer.
I know, but why do we
You what I
need
said?
so
You what I
much
said? It's a
government intrusion?
game changer.
Yes.
Yeah, because it changes politics. It changes world dynamics, right?
I
So
guess. I
if
mean,
you
we
can
got
affect the
suspended
game,
red
it can...
cards. We got FBI
bro,
investigations. We got
it's all over right. What is it? The next game? It's 5 Argentinian referees, right, for the France game. So it's like, how do you have 5 Argentinian referees for the France game?
That seems a little squirrely. Yeah. Seems like a little bit too much. But we got to be careful with coincidences. You know, like it could just be a coincidence. It could just be a
just like Balogun was a coincidence. Just like the non-red card against Salah was a coincidence. Oh yes, many coincidences in this World Cup.
A lot of coincidences. But my problem is that here's where I get cynical, Jesse. And I'm not a cynical person, but here's where I get cynical. I've been in this business now for 12 or 13 years, and it's a TV show. And I never lose sight of that. Every sporting event, I'm not saying sporting events are fixed. I'm saying sporting events are TV shows that require stars and headlines and drama. And you don't want your biggest star in Lionel Messi to be out in the round of 16. It makes for a bad show. It just does. And
in America,
like sometimes you get it like a gift, like in the NBA playoffs this year. The NBA had no idea what they had with the Knicks going to the finals. They were not happy with that necessarily. Knicks and Spurs, it wasn't supposed to be a great matchup. And it ended up being a fantastic finals because the underdog won. The tortoise caught the hare. And I think sometimes you just got to let it play out, but we try so hard to manipulate it and make everything a show for the ratings and the money. And it would be a shame if the FBI did find some nefarious stuff. I mean, that'd be such a stain on Messi's legacy and Argentina's career. Anyway, Papa Bear, guess what?
Guess what?
That is a thing we should know. John freaking McCarthy in 1956 coined the term AI, folks. Use that at your next cocktail party. Papa Bear, drop another nugget into the toilet.
Okay, here's a nugget that John McCarthy shares with Jesse Weglein.
Okay.
an ethnic heritage of Jewish Lithuanian.
Okay. Yes.
Now, McCarthy doesn't sound like a Lithuanian name, but that was on his mother's side. So, but
Wow.
he was. Now, what you don't share is that John McCarthy was also a communist and an
Yes,
atheist.
he was. Yes, he was.
Not,
I
well,
thought
not
that was the same McCarthy. Is that the one for McCarthyism? Right?
No.
Same McCarthy? No?
No. This is a mathematician.
Mathematician.
Okay, so every McCarthy's a communist then.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. No, the other McCarthy was anti-communism, right? Like, so
Wow.
this McCarthy
was
was a
anti.
communist. The other McCarthy was anti-communism. He was rooting them out and doing terrible things and creating camps and encampments and things like this, right?
Squirrel.
Yeah,
It was all about the red
later-
square, the red scare, right?
Yeah. But it is right during that period. But he later changed and
Same
became a
period.
Republican.
Very good. Very good. The history of John McCarthy. All right. Well, thank you for that. Things we
Nick,
should know,
Nick,
PB. That was excellent.
Yes,
I
it was.
appreciate you for that.
Nick, if you're not careful, me and PB would just go on talking about history for the next hour.
Yeah.
And you gotta
I'm
stop
like,
us.
what's the next segment? We got to get into
you
this.
gotta
Man. We got to
jump
clear
in.
the set.
We got to keep it going. Nick's totally right, 100% correct. That's why we got you, brother. Make it harder. Make it happen. Here we go. We are going to go into our next segment. Our next segment. Thank you, PB. Our next segment, clear the set. Are you ready, Jesse, to clear the set with me?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. Question number 1 is, what are your top 3 films?
Let's see. This list changes a lot, but right
That's
now
interesting.
I'm diving into Akira Kurosawa heavily. I think I studied him when I was taking a lot of film classes, but it's been a long time. And now rewatching, I think Seven Samurai, I looked at that recently, and High and Low. If you haven't seen High and Low, incredible cinematography. I am really just, I think if you have to take one director and learn film, Akira Kurosawa may be the one that would teach you the most about blocking camera, light versus dark on layering, how to direct the audience's eye with camera and where you place your actors, and the use of color too. Incredible, Ron. The Red Beard. I think there's so many amazing films that he has done that just are so captivating, incredible.
Yeah.
So
Roshanon, right? Like also another one?
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. And Toshiro Mifune, incredible actor. He plays in Akira's, film so well. But right now, I think High and Low is one of my favorite films.
So High and Low, Seven Samurai, and you got a third one?
And then if I would pivot, the last one is going to be Miyazaki. I think of Miyazaki's films, my children love his films, so we watch them all the time. I think the Wind Rises right now. That's my favorite.
Oh, went away from Spirited Away. I see. You see, you're throwing a curveball in there.
Yeah, it's something that it's one of the later ones, but he has such restraint on how he's telling the story.
Yes.
And it's so easy for him to go into any kind of fantasy world, but he does it in such a subtle way in this film, that dream sequences, and it allows him to then just play. And for me, I think that's my favorite film, just because it stands out and its uniqueness amongst all his films.
He does that really well in The Boy and the Heron as well, and which
Yes.
is a animated film that made me cry, but I'm a crier. Name the film you're embarrassed to admit you haven't seen.
Oh man. This
Toy
is
Story.
Now you actually worked on Toy Story 3 because that would be insane. I think.
Yeah, on 3
Yeah.
and 4. And yeah, I haven't seen 5 yet. I need to. It's in the
Yeah.
theaters. I need to see 5.
That's embarrassing.
And I know, I know. And it's supposed to be really good. You know, a lot of people
Well,
are
I'll
like,
say,
"Oh, this
listen to my film brief.
I was just gonna say that Nick's got a
Yep,
great
on
film
Toy Story
brief,
5.
Okay.
film review on
So
Toy
I'll definitely
Story
watch it."
5. It's 9 minutes.
Awesome.
It'll really prepare you for the movie. It's
Okay,
great.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I think that's my probably the most embarrassing one is that I get a lot of people like, "What'd you think of the 5?" And I haven't. I've been so busy. We've been traveling a lot. I'm just now like coming up for air, and relaxing in Japan. And even here, I have my SLR, and I'm taking photos and doing research for another project, and just am trying to embrace everything. But now that I have a little bit more time, I would love to see Toy Story 5
There you
and
go.
with some spaces.
Name the film everyone loves, but you hate.
Oh,
And if you don't like the word hate, you can say the film you just don't understand why everybody loves it.
I have this weird relationship with Starship Troopers. So, and it depends on which audience you hang out with. But I watched it in the theater, and I remember walking out of the movie theater, and I was like, I cannot
Wow.
watch this movie. And then I watched it later on with a group of like film students, and they're like, no, you don't understand the movie. You got to watch it again. So I watched it with them, and then they talked throughout the whole film about why they liked it. And now I have a whole new appreciation for it. And then I met Phil Tippett, and I
Oh,
talked to him about it. And then I have an even greater appreciation. And then I worked for many, many years with a techno director at Pixar who worked on Starship Troopers. And she was telling me about all of the challenges that went into making it. So it's so amazing. So I started off with a huge dislike of the movie. And
mhm.
now I this camp of like, wow, I did not realize everything that went into making this film and all the
Yeah.
commentary that was behind the scenes.
Once again, Jesse, you have bridged the how and the what.
Mm,
How it was made
yeah.
has now bridged over to what was made, and it changed your opinion. That's very fascinating, very meta what just happened there. Okay, favorite cheat day meal? You're
Hmm.
in Japan, there's a lot of great food there. I don't know if there's
Yeah.
cheat food there. Maybe there is.
Oh wow. We just went to this restaurant near Mount Fuji that's over 100 years old, and they make udon from scratch. It doesn't look like the
Mhm.
udon you're used to. It's like shorter udon noodles,
Yeah.
and it comes in this incredibly hot, like lava rock like bowl, and they put it right on this old wooden table, and it is scorching hot. And they tell you over and over in multiple languages, don't touch the bowl. But it's so delicious. You smell it. It's incredible. So we just had that. I'm trying to remember the name of the restaurant, but it's if you look up udon in near Kawaguchiko area, you'll find it. It's well known.
Can't
It's over
spell
100
that.
years.
Man, you have to look it up. You're gonna have to look.
Yeah,
You gotta make this man spell everything.
basically, yeah,
Kamakuchiko,
right.
Hey,
Japan.
Chris,
And
Yeah.
how do you spell AI?
Come on. Come on. AI. Okay.
That's right.
What's a 3-letter word that starts with gay?
What? I'm
Oh,
confused.
that's bad.
I think
That's bad.
PB and
You're outta here.
CB are getting a little punchy. That's what's
Yeah,
happening.
maybe a
They're
little bit.
getting
Okay.
punchy.
That is awesome. I love it. Nick, we should go to Tokyo together if we don't go see a Chelsea match together. Okay. We should go to Japan. We should go to Tokyo. We should eat the udon noodles.
Huh.
Shout out to Jesse for the recommendation. Last one, best Pixar film.
I still feel it's Up. Yeah, I think
Up.
Up presents such a complete film for the character development. We have Um, Incredible animation, subtlety in animation. The opening scene of the characters growing older and the passing away of Ellie knocks everybody on their ass. You
Yeah,
know,
Nick cries at that one, and he doesn't have tears. He don't even have tear
I just
ducts.
just leak. Right.
He just leaks. Yeah.
but
Don't
yeah, I
tell him
think
where you leak from.
Right. No, I leak oil. That's what it is. The Tin Man. He doesn't have a heart. You got to figure it. He's just oil. But
Up will
yeah, I'm
get you,
with you,
man.
man. Up
Up will get you.
is yeah, but you're
Yeah.
right. I mean, from the beginning
Yeah, that's great.
to the
I loved it.
end, because it takes you on an emotional roller coaster. The only film, I will say, the only other Pixar film that has ever done such a thing to me had to be Toy Story 3, bro.
Mhm.
Toy Story 3. Is that the Nick, is that the one where they're about to get set on fire?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Dude, that
that
one breaks me
man,
down.
because they did such a good job of the delay, the pause.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't ah, we get saved. It was ah, and then you're
Mhm.
like, wait, like what's happening? And it just was perfectly done. I mean, I'm sitting here holding back tears, man. I'm like, this can't happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this can't happen. So, but yeah, I will
Yeah.
give you like if you watch Up again, just be quiet,
That's a great
right?
title
And
for a
just
sequel.
yeah, Up again, and just
Up
sit through
again.
it. And yeah, you're right. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give that one to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Toy Story 3
Look,
is a close second though, for sure.
Yep.
I remember watching the end, and they had a few different versions of the absolute last scene where they say goodbye.
Hmm.
To Andy, and they had a few different animations that they tried out, and they knew to push it just enough to have a subtle exchange between Andy as he says goodbye. You know, where he does this like breath. He does this like very subtle breath of, and he's feeling a lot of emotions. And wow, to think about, I mean, these are 3D characters, right? And we personified these emotions of the animators in there, the acting that the animators go through and the lighting and everything and the music, right? All these pillars that are constructed into this film, and we feel something, genuine emotion from these films. Wow, it's incredible. What a gift that we have as filmmakers to be able to share these stories with the world. And yeah, that's what we hope to do. Yeah.
yeah, here. I remember watching that movie having the sense that there wouldn't be a 4 or 5. I just didn't think. I just wasn't sure.
Mm,
And I think that's some of those scenes really hit you hard because it's like, "Oh, this is how they're choosing to end
mhm.
the series, the series of films. This is
Yeah.
how they're choosing to end the trilogy. It
Mm,
ends badly for these dolls and
yeah.
these toys, and it's just like it gets you, man, every time. So, shout out to Toy Story 3 and that whole franchise. I too plan on watching Toy Story 5 very, very soon, as well as the Odyssey coming around the corner. I'm excited for that. And Jesse, I'm excited about this Clear the Set. You did it. Very, very good stuff. And we're going to end the show the way we always end the show, and that is by asking you, what does it mean to make it?
Mm. Um, I didn't think that I would even be here. I think I'm making it right now. So to be on your podcast, it means that
That's
I'm doing
amazing.
something. Um, I think to have our little film acknowledged at Tribeca by world class judges and audiences and other filmmakers is another example of making it. And also for interactions with audiences. I was at the hospital in San Francisco, and I had one of my family members was not feeling well, and just an honest conversation with one of the nurses, and they asked me what I do and who I was, and I said, "Oh yeah, I'm making this film about this neurodivergent girl," and the nurse grabbed my shoulder and she said,
Mm.
"My child is neurodivergent, and we need this film to be made." And she had tears in her eyes, and she was just like, "You have to make this movie." And I realized this is bigger than me. This is bigger than my interests. This is bigger than what I hope to do. I'm now making films for other people to enjoy around the world, and that's a form of making it. it's realizing you have a calling, you have a purpose, that you wake up in the morning and you want to create something that never has been done before. And that's really what I'm interested in doing, as I'm hoping to entertain audiences, to tell stories that resonate with them, that make them start a conversation, a dialogue about something that they maybe didn't know about, or now they want to champion up further. So yeah, that's what we're all about.
Here, here. It's
That's
super
right.
powerful, Nick, because I find that so many people are dipping their toes in this pool and that lake and in this water. And what they're really searching for, bro, is purpose. It's exactly what Jesse said. Like, they're looking to be part of something that's bigger than themselves, that gives them something to do that helps somebody else. And everybody sort of intuitively wants purpose and wants to be able to contribute to the larger society. And I love that message you just sent the audience, Jesse. I
Yeah,
appreciate
and
it.
I'll say, I'll just jump onto that too, Chris, and
Yeah,
say that,
please.
under a different conversation that you and I were having, we talked about this, that, I recently heard someone kind of differentiate passion and purpose, and
Mhm,
it really it resonated with me because, what they said was passion is the thing that gets you up at night. It gets you up in the morning, right? Wakes you up in the
mhm,
morning, but purpose is what helps you sleep at night.
mhm.
Mm,
And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome."
I like
Right?
that.
Because you can be passionate about a lot of things and be excited,
100%.
right? But
Hmm.
that purpose is what helps you sleep at night. And I think that if you can marry those 2, that's the perfect combination, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what, Jesse, you're saying, is that the passion really is the creativity,
Hmm.
right? It's the making of the things,
Yeah.
but the purpose is making a difference,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
you found a way to marry
Yeah.
those 2, so
Yep.
you're excited to wake up in the morning and you can sleep well at night.
I love it. That's great, and Jesse, you've been so generous with your time. This was an absolute blast. I promise you I could stay on for another 2 hours with you. This is just an easy flowing, great conversation. I feel like I'm learning so much, and those are my favorite types of podcasts to be on and favorite types of guests that are teaching me and the team something every time they speak, and that is definitely you. So, can you, before you get out of here, share, your social media, your websites where people can see your work, where they can follow and support you?
Sure. Illuminaistudios.com is our main site. It has links to our YouTube channel. We're on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We try to update regularly when we have festival updates. We just got accepted. So our second film, Shine, is about a 1950s story about a boy in New York City that grows up in a single family parent household. It's just received its sixth official selection from global festivals. So
Congrats, congrats.
Congrats.
we're making updates. We're getting some positive traction and feedback. So yeah, so definitely check out those websites to see all the new updates that we have. And yeah, we're excited. Lots of stories to continue to tell. We're very busy, and yeah, it's an exciting time for us.
Shout out to you, and do what the man says. Go follow him. I'm gonna give you the spelling of that for everybody out there. It's Illuminai. Search for that, Illuminai.com. Go visit his YouTube, go visit his webpage. Please support his initiatives, his creativity, his animations, his films coming up. He's doing something, and he has the courage to be on the cutting edge, to be a frontiersman in this space. So do support it when you come across it. If you want to get in touch with us, that's as easy as it's always been. Underscore make it podcast across social media. That's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, you name it. We're there. We're all over the place. X. You can leave us a message. We will definitely get back to you. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're already here. Make sure you subscribe, share, like, comment, engage with us. We have a great platform for you to learn more about the art of filmmaking and to just fan out on films, honestly. Right. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, take 30 seconds, give us a 5-star review. And if you have a little extra time, maybe you leave a text review as well. And then don't forget to come over to YouTube. Just search for the Make It Podcast. We will be the very first thing that comes up. And before I forget, I want to give a shout out and an attribution to the Dan Patrick Show, which is where I grabbed that clip of the Argentinian Messi call. So I want to give the attribution to them. Shout out to them. And so with that, I will hand it off to my partner in podcasting, Nick, to leave us with the credo.
Yeah, man, appreciate you. Jesse, thank you so much for this time. I am 100% certain that this is the longest podcast that you've ever been on, and maybe the longest podcast you will ever do. But my friend, it was for us, it was extremely worth it. We appreciate the time, the effort, the energy, the passion, the purpose that you put into this and spending this time so graciously with us. And like Chris said, we learned so much, not just about the industry and what you're doing, but so much about you. And we're happy for that because we can see that you are a kindred spirit. And we appreciate what you're going to continue to do with your art. We will follow your work. We will see the feature that is Roar.
Yep.
And we're excited for where you're going to go in the future. So thank you for spending this time with us at this time in your journey, my friend. And with that, I have to say to our filmmaking friends, fans, family, and followers out there, be better, be creative, be engaged.
And thank you for listening. Nick, Papa Bear, Jesse, talk to you soon.
Yeah, and we got to tell our people, thank you for watching as well.
Oh, and thank you for watching. So thank you for calling me out on that. I got to stop
There you
saying
go.
thank you for listening. Thank you
Yeah.
for watching and listening. Appreciate you,
got
Nick. All right,
Yep.
guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Yeah, man, we'll do it again. Laters.